Among other things, the year was incredible for its politics. In March, the experts thought New York's Republican Governor Nelson Rockefeller would step into George Romney's discarded shoes. But Rockefeller did the unexpected.
We live in an age when the word of a political leader seems to invite instant and general suspicion. I ask to be spared any measure of such distrust. I am not and will not be a candidate for the presidency.
And then, 40 days later,
friends and fellow citizens, today I announce my active candidacy for the nomination by the Republican Party for the presidency of the United States.
The politics of making up your mind. And then there was another kind of politics.
The politics of happiness, the politics of purpose, and the politics of joy.
The other major candidate of 1968 was the Vice President of the United States, Hubert Horatio Humphrey.
I shall seek the nomination of the Democratic Party. Thanks. Like it or not, you have him.
If Hubert Humphrey was to win the nomination, he'd have to do it at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, a city that had seen some tense racial moments, a city that Mayor Richard Daley instructed his police chief to make safe.
I said to him very emphatically and very definitely that an order be issued immediately under his signature to shoot to kill any arsonist, and to issue a police order to shoot, to maim, or cripple anyone looting any stores in our city.
But there were some who thought that it was the police who were going to make Chicago unsafe. Militant Tom Hayden was one of them.
There is a sadistic element in the police department that operates with the full knowledge of Mayor Daley and other authorities. We feel that they'll be here doing precisely that during the convention, that they'll be inflicting whatever brutality they want on demonstrators. They'll be using chemical mace, clubs, tear gas, horses, all the rest of it. We regard them as the shock troops of the establishment.
With the additional names of Reagan, Maddox, and McGovern to consider, the delegates to the Republican and Democratic National Conventions were ready. It was a two-act play which opened in Miami.
It is my privilege to place in nomination for the office of President of the United States the one man whom history has so clearly thrust forward, the one whom all America will recognize as a man whose time has come, the man for 1968, the Honorable Richard M. Nixon.
Wisconsin is proud to cast its 30 votes for the nominee of this convention.
I see another child tonight. He hears the train go by tonight and he dreams of faraway places where he'd like to go. Tonight, he stands before you, nominated for President of the United States of America.
I shall recommend to the convention that it nominate for Vice President on the Republican ticket Governor Agnew of Maryland.
The name of Spiro Agnew is not a household name. I certainly hope that it'll become one within the next couple months.
The 35th Quadrennial Convention of the Democratic Party of the United States is now called in session. govern as President of the United States, we wouldn't have to have Gestapo tactics in the streets of Chicago.
The confrontation was not created by the police. The confrontation was created by the people who charged the police. Gentlemen, get the thing straight once and for all. The policeman isn't there to create disorder. The policeman is there to preserve disorder.
Will delegates kindly resume their seats? You have paid a great tribute to a great American, and now we must proceed with the convention or business. The next order of business will be a report and a tribute by the delightful Secretary of the Convention and of the Democratic National Committee, Mrs. Bush.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present to this convention the name of Hubert Horatio Humphrey as nominee for the President of the United States. Thank you very much.
And the chair declares that Vice President Hubert Humphrey is the Democratic President candidate of the United States.
I say to this great convention tonight and to this great nation of ours, I am ready to lead our country.
I think we proved something about the people of this country. They have made a judgment. They made a judgment which the politicians were afraid even to face up to before we took it to the people. Namely, that in the midst of this war, they were ready to say that we were wrong and that the policy ought to be changed. That was the judgment of the people of this country.
With Eugene McCarthy's megaphoned withdrawal speech on the battleground in front of Chicago's Conrad Hilton Hotel, the track was clear for Humphrey and Nixon, and the third-party candidate, George Wallace.
You can take the leadership of the National Republican Party and the National Democratic Party and put them all in a good Arkansas cotton-picking sack and shake them up good and turn them up, and the first one that drops out, you pick him up and stick him right back in. There's just not any difference. There's not a dime's worth of difference in them.
George Wallace changed the face of American politics in 1968, and so did the war in Vietnam, especially the war in Vietnam.
There must be a new government in South Vietnam.
The man named McCarthy, who sought to be president, with a candidacy based on protest against the fighting in Vietnam. America was political, America was in protest, America was at war. War is a big thing. Billions of dollars, countless lives, world balance of power. It is small things, too. A reporter, Richard Threlkeld, awaits evacuation by helicopter from a Special Forces camp in South Vietnam. Long wait, long war.
We just finished a story about a North Vietnamese attack at Khartoum in Tay Ninh province. We're waiting now to get out. Our last chopper out at night. It's a big Huey carrying in supplies. We came in on one like that and caught a mortar shell about 100 yards from us. There's the Huey now, and it's going to be a little scary going out. We can expect at least one more mortar. We're running now. That pilot isn't going to wait more. Now about a minute and a half for us as he risks getting taken out by a mortar.
With American sons in the fields far away, I do not believe that I should devote an hour or a day of my time to any personal partisan causes or to any duties other than the awesome duties of this office. I shall not seek, and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president.
Huey took off without us, so we can... Here comes another one now. Now, get down in here, into the ditch. You can hear the second Huey coming in now, carrying in more supplies. This is the one.
The chant, "Peace Now." Chicago in August, that chaotic week of the Democratic National Convention. But the protesters did not get their man.
Heil Humphrey! Humphrey the fascist pig! Dump the hump! Dump the hump!
That second Huey's taken off, too. So I don't know where we stand out here, except out in the open with damn little protection. It's strangely beautiful along here. The smoke from the bombs and the mortars seems to mingle with the low overhanging clouds, and there's even a rainbow off to the east, believe it or not.
As president, I would stop the bombing of the North as an acceptable risk for peace. Because I believe...
We have a man who offers to the very delicate negotiations that are going on in Paris today and in Washington and in Saigon the fastest, loosest tongue ever in American politics.
The only thing I'll say is, Mr. Nixon, in making his extra effort to catch votes in an attempt to frighten the people, is playing fast and loose with national security.
I have now ordered that all air, naval, and artillery bombardment of North Vietnam cease. We have reached the stage where productive talks can begin.
I will not comment on those talks that are going on in Paris. I will only say what I have said previously.
You young people, will you help us now?
You think we're going to win? Do you want to win? Are you going to help me win? Will you do it this week? All right, let's give it to them. Sock it to them.
Here we go. We've got the call that puts Richard Nixon over the top. The CBS News election estimate gives the state of Illinois and its 26 electoral votes to Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon is the man. He'll do everything he can to bring peace to our land through the guiding of God's hand.
The election was over. The protesters had gone home. Negotiations got underway. But the war went on.
Perhaps the most unsettling thing about all this is that, well, we're waiting here for what we all damn well hope will be that last chopper. That sun is going down behind the clouds, and it's getting darker and darker. And if it gets too dark, that chopper's not going to land at all. And like it or not, we're going to have to spend the night with the North Vietnamese.